listening to this new artist I came across. A lot of the women, or a lot of the artists I happen to listen to lately have been women, singing very like Britney Spears type songs, I guess. A lot of feelings, a lot of feelings. So this one's Leanna Crawford, and the one I was listening to previous is called Riley Clemens. She has a song that I recognized as having heard on the radio called Broken Prayers. But anyway, in my feelings, after a year and a half of this confusion with my wife ghosting me and basically leaving me for what is, as I've said before, I would have felt better about it. I finally have a face to the guy that she left me for. And it's like, I would have felt better if you left me for Danny DeVito or somebody like that. I mean, this is what you left me for, this guy here. And I don't want to talk too much about it because that just engenders all those feelings and I don't want to get bitter about it. But anyway, the thing that I felt led at this particular point to do is date again, very casually. So I'm not saying anything on Facebook or Instagram or anything like that. For those that do know me, I'm not going to get on a dating site and start looking at women or anything like that. But I have put something on YouTube basically saying that I am looking to date very casually and non-physically. You know, just go out and have lunch or something like that. For those that live in Oahu, or those that don't but that are looking to visit. When all of this happens with me being declared Honolulu mayor, yeah, I know. Still believe in that. And I'm believing for the end of the month. Don't know how, but only God. When he gives verses talking about he sets kings up and removes kings, the example is puts mayors in position and then removes others. So when he sends me to Daniel, you know, in the Bible, it's like, okay, I don't know what this chapter is about. And then I read that and he's like, underline that's for you, you know. Or he sends you to Joshua, talking about how he killed, I think it was 37 or 38 different kings. It's like, okay, well, there's 15 candidates total. And I was like number 13. I was the very end. And what else would you expect to happen when you don't ask for a vote, you don't accept money, and when you're largely excluded from the process? What would you expect? But point is, I still get the position. So whenever that happens to be, I'm looking to have lunch, dinner, something like that, very casually. As I said, nothing physical. I'm not looking for any of that. If I was being honest, well, I am honest, but in being open, if I wasn't being faithful to God, it would be all physical. I'm just saying. But my marriage is dead. God's going to resurrect it. But he's telling me she's not mature enough at this particular point. I won't go into details as to how I know that. But even after all this becomes recognized, you don't just go running back to her. And even if she comes running back to you, you don't just accept her like that. There's like a sanctification. There's a process of maturity that she has to go through. And in the meantime, Micah, this is kind of what I'm feeling like he's telling me. I'm waiting for confirmation, and I fleeced it, waiting on basically those signs to, confirm and prove and all that are not by chance, and I'm obviously not going to show and share what that happens to be. It's known to only me and God. But when that comes about, when that happens to be, then I'm looking to date just very casually. And I'm not sure exactly what I'm on here for or why I have an ad from YouTube playing in the background. But anyway, don't know what that'll involve. Don't know who I may reach out to. I had a joke. What's the phrase? I'm trying to think of the phrase. Anyway, I'm going to shoot my shot, or I did anyway, with Jennifer Aniston. That was one of my wife's favorite actors, you know. So I was like, okay, well, God, you say get a list, so to speak, of people you would like to meet, people you'd like to have lunch with, something like that. Yeah, well, I'm going to be Honolulu mayor. I am. Extremely soon. And then following that, in 8 years, I run for president. So it's like, okay, who wouldn't want to have lunch with a future president? There's a few women I could think that would. So in this time of healing, Mike, get a list together, because you're going to be having lunch with people that you would enjoy talking to. And Jennifer Aniston seems like she's a legend. There's that. She's a legend and a doll. But whether she's married or not, I don't know. Obviously, if she wasn't, I wouldn't be saying this. It'd be kind of fun to have lunch with Jennifer Aniston. Not as a love interest necessarily, because I'm still waiting on my wife, but there's nothing wrong with having lunch. And yeah, and having lunch. And that's pretty much it. That's what it comes down to. Still believing that I get with my wife at some point, but the maturity's not there. I'll just say that. That's just clearly what it is. Clearly not there. So somebody like, I don't know, Brie Babin Yo, I don't know if that's how she apparently is married. Sarah Jakes Roberts, she's married. Dang it. Riley Clemens, came across her video. She's probably married. Jennifer Aniston, I don't think is, but just kind of get a list together, Michael, about of people that you would just like to sit down and have lunch with, and maybe just kind of learn their experience and just fall in love with people. Not in that way, but you kind of, or maybe you don't. Just, fall in love with people. As I've said before, it's like when you come to God, He's going to teach you who He not only is, but who you are, and understanding yourself better. It says, as the 2 commandments are basically the entirety of the Bible. If you condense it down to 2 things, is to love God with all your heart, soul, and mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. And understanding yourself better, then it allows you to understand your neighbor better and fall in love with them and forgive them and help them, equip them, these kind of things, I think I just came across the quote from Leo Tolstoy, I believe, the author, but it's talking about something about, and this is a generalization, but put yourself in the shoes of everyone so you can understand them. And it's kind of ties in with the verse. I don't remember exactly what he said, but it's kind of the same thing. And I thought he talked about forgiveness as well. But in understanding them, it allows you to forgive them. In understanding them and putting yourself in their position, their experience, very real soul experiences, unique, experiences and stories and all that, what makes them, those kind of things. It gives you a different perspective. So it's not dating so much. It is, I guess, very casually, is having lunch and just learning people's experience and just getting a different perspective on everything. Having witnessed, if you will, the stories that they've shared with you or things that you know about them, and just falling in love with people, be they men or women. And I think you know what I mean by that. Just loving on people, not in a sexual way. I mean, there's different types of love, obviously, but just understanding people. When it comes to government, that's necessary. If you truly want to come to a resolution for any issue, be it a racial issue, which is a very big divisive topic here and now, you don't have people that are truly looking for an issue, or not an issue, but a solution to it. And they just want to further their politics. You have race baiters out there, and that happens to be the perspective that I have, is when you see certain ones, it's like you're not interested in solving anything. You just want to perpetuate your income for the rest of the time, and I can give names for that. But, to separate my perspective out, my agenda, if you will, try not to have one, to suspend it or kill it altogether, and to truly understand what it is that the other person believes, and why they believe that, what their experiences are to justify that, but